Alright guys, this is Lily here. Welcome back to my channel, and today is a DIY video with all items from the Dollar Tree. So in the next portion of this video I will be telling you what I used, and this is the outcome. Now underneath here is just a placemat I was using for the background, but it is that, if you guys follow me on Instagram, it is that cool starfish sign that I found, and then a blue ribbon to hang it with in the background. So let's get started and I'll show you what you need to make this starfish hanging wreath. What you need for this DIY are a glue gun, possibly your ruler, and some scissors would be items you already have at home. And then items I picked up from the Dollar Tree for this DIY were these two burlap ribbon rolls. Now it's not the other fine burlap ribbon, we use more decorative. This is going to be more for crafting, so I picked up two rolls of this. I'm not sure if we'll be using both of them, but just in case. I also picked up a bag of seashells, also from the Dollar Tree, and this was in the craft section. And this was the only bag I found. I would have got more if there was other variations and colors, but that was it. And then I picked up two of the most similar grapevines I could find, because we're going to be wrapping this. And then I was inspired to make this by these starfish here. I didn't want them just to be by themselves on my wall. I kind of want to make them a little bit bigger, stand out a little bit more. So the DIY is going to include two of these. If you want to just make one, if you have a spot for one, just do one. I'm going to do two because they're each going to go on the side of my big mirror. So let's get started. Oh, one more thing. I also picked up a bag of this moss. We will be hot gluing this in different areas to make it look like this thing came out of the sea. And we may or may not be using a bag of this fishing net decor that I picked up in the Hawaiian area. So we'll play with it and see how we end up doing. And then just in case, I also brought this out in case I needed to make a string to tie it up, something decorative. So we'll see when we get there. Alright, stay tuned for the first step. Alright guys, so at this point here, I've kind of just been taking the burlap ribbon and twisting it and turning it in different ways. You don't want it to look too uniform and too exact the same every way. So if I have to twist and turn it to make it wider or just messy, you just want it to look like a net or just something, you know, out of the sea. So just take your burlap and weave it in and out and around. And I'm thinking one whole roll of this stuff is going to go all the way around the wreath. So I'm going to do another third. I'm going to do 3/4 of the way and then stop again to let you guys know how far I made it with the burlap ribbon. Because this burlap ribbon can kind of be a pain in the neck and working with it is rather difficult, I wanted to just show you guys really quickly. After I have hot glued an area down, what I'm kind of doing is, if you just take it and wrap it, it kind of looks not good. So I'm just taking it in bunches and just seeing kind of how the burlap sits itself without being completely smashed down. And I usually go around a couple times before I will make my before I hot glue it. So at this point here, I kind of like the way that goes because a piece of the starfish is going to sit there. So I hold it with my fingers in place, and then you will just glue as you go, and then you just continue on doing that all the way around the wreath. There you go. That's good. Just want them to see that I'm just taking it and twisting. Ouch. Jacked up my head. Alright guys, I don't know how that happened, but this burlap roll ended up being just enough to make it right there. That's pretty amazing, right? So make sure you be careful, don't wrap too much, and you don't want to end up with extra left over. But if you do end up with extra, just go over certain areas you need a little bit more. But I'm going to happen to be able to just hot glue and lay that right there perfectly for the end. So the next step will be positioning our starfish and then the moss and seashells. So stay tuned for that part. So at this point, I had finished my burlap and laid the net over the burlap wrapped wreath and realized I liked the way that fishing net looked over it. So it is too big, but what you're going to do is loosely lay it over the burlap ring and then just kind of trim the net around the edges so that there is enough hanging down to your liking. If you want it to hang long, I would leave it long, but I cut mine just so that I could glue it to the back and the net would be hanging a little bit, and then I could overlap pieces over the starfish so it looked like he got caught in there. And then after this part, I'm going to glue the starfish itself down and begin gluing the moss and the shells down. At this point, I was able to get all the loose pieces of net and the actual starfish glued down at all 5 points beneath, on the underneath of the starfish, to a sturdy area on the grapevine wreath, or to the burlap. And then some of these loose ends, which I see I forgot these pieces, I just went ahead and glued behind the wreath so that they're not hanging loosely or anything. I would probably take a piece like this and glue it to the back of the starfish so you would be able to see the net separate just like that, kind of, just get an idea there. And then I was, one of the sides I cut too long, so I was able to drape it over the top of the starfish and let it kind of hang down over the top there to give it, you know, a little bit of layering. And then at this point, you're going to need to play with your shells and the moss by putting bunches of it together, trying to see how it looks there. I probably won't leave that like that because it's too big. But this area down here, I was already able to glue down, and I like it a lot. I had 3 shells that overlapped. Sorry, my camera is not focusing too well. And make sure you use a lot of glue because the shells are heavier, so you're going to need to use more glue and glue them on the ends that are the edges that touch your project. So this edge of the shell touches the burlap, and then this edge was flat and it touched the cardboard of the starfish, so I had to put glue in both areas so that it stayed. And then I kind of just popped some of the moss out of there, and I'm going to play around with this area. I have not glued this one down yet, so I'm going to get that one going, and I'm going to see if I can get my camera to focus a little bit better for you guys. So at this point, guys, basically you're going to customize the finished product to your likings. How many shells, how little shells, how simple you want it. So I really like this cluster here. I think, oops, that glue didn't hold too well. This cluster was able to take 3 of the shells. I used the larger size and then 2 smaller or medium in the cluster. A little bit of the moss is glued in there. I do not know why this isn't focusing as good as it is when I'm further away. But anyways, here I decided to go with 2 shells here along the side. I think I'll skip doing some here and just maybe glue some moss. I may find a way to glue a shell up here. Maybe I'll glue a shell there or to the leg there, but I'm not going to do too much because I don't want to take away from all the glitter and the prettiness of the shell itself, the starfish itself. So I'm having a hard time focusing because the boys are both up from their nap and they keep randomly calling my name and I lose my train of thought, but I'm trying my best. I'm going to keep playing with it at this point and see what I come up with, and then at the end I'll show you how I ended up placing my seashells on there, and then what I'm going to put on the back of it to be able to hang it from the wall or however you plan to mount it. So I hope you're playing with your starfish and getting it together, or maybe you're gathering the products, but I'll be back right as soon as I finish gluing all the shells on. Alright guys, so at the top area I decided to just go heavier on the moss and then glue a bigger shell since it's going to be by himself there. And then up at the top there was a hole where I removed the ribbon that the starfish came with. So I went ahead and removed that, and I put a little bit of moss and a medium-sized seashell there. And I didn't want to cover up the word sun, but there was the word underneath there was bee, so I didn't really think that was important. And then what I did here in the back was I ended up using that blue ribbon that I had found earlier, and I didn't know what I needed it for in my previous haul if you guys watched it. And I just cut a hole in the burlap area here where the grapevine is, and I just kind of took the ribbon through there and then tried to hide it back again so that I have a nice sturdy strong ribbon to hang my wreath from. So how freaking cute is this, guys? This totally does not look like something you bought from the dollar store, and I couldn't be more happy with the results. I know that there are 4 different ones of these signs. There is a clamshell, there is the seahorse, there is also a dolphin, and there's one more, I forget what it is. I hope you guys will create one of these, something different maybe the same exact one if it matches your stuff, and tag me in it on Instagram. Let me know if you made it. Share this video with your friends if you think they would enjoy doing it. Maybe you guys can have a little craft night. This was really easy. Probably took me about an hour, but because I had to stop and film and edit and get the angles and stuff right for you guys, I really, like I said, I could not be more happier with the results. Please tag me if you make one. I want to see you make something different or the same. So remember, guys, we used a pack of seashells. You can get these from anywhere, but I did get lucky and find them at the Dollar Tree. I got 2 packages of this burlap wrap, 2 of these grapevines, 2 signs, and a pack of the netting. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos, guys. Bye.